Where am I? Hello? Hello? Who are you?
Hello, Ben. I want you to play a game. My game, specifically.
Okay, and what if I refuse?
What if you refuse? Well, have a look.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, someone get me out of here. Get me the fuck out of here. What the fuck? You sick fuck, no! Please! Okay, I'll do it! Murder House is a survival horror game developed by Puppet Combo and released in 2020 for PC. A year later, the game would also be ported to PS4, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox Series X. For this review, I will be primarily focusing on the PS4 version of the game. This version of the game does not include any additional content that was missing from the PC release. However, it does allow you to play the game at an unstable 60 FPS, which is very much appreciated. Murder House was a game I had somehow not even heard of until I spotted it on the PlayStation Store a few weeks ago. And let me tell you, from the first second I saw those Garbo PS1 character models, it was love. I had to play this game. It had everything I wanted from a survival horror. Fixed camera angles, limited resources, logic puzzles, unstable 60 FPS. It had it all, and I could not wait to try the game out for myself. And now that I have completed Murder House twice, and have unlocked all the trophies, I think I'm finally ready to give you guys my honest thoughts on this game. But not until you motherfuckers smash that subscribe button. Am I right? Am I right? Please subscribe, they're going to take my fucking kids from me. From the first second I booted up Murder House, I could tell I was in for something special. The whole game is obviously a massive homage to early survival horror games like Resident Evil and Silent Hill, as well as slasher movies from the 70s and 80s like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween. The game's menus are presented on a video cassette box, and there are even different filters that allow the game to look like something from the PS1 era. Very impressive. If you grew up during the 80s and you know what this piece of shit is, there is a good chance that Murder House's aesthetic will be right up your alley. I simply can't think of another indie game that nails its presentation as well as this game does. But enough about Murder House's aesthetic. It's time to start talking about the game itself. Murder House's story begins in 1985. A young boy named Justin is about to have his photo taken with the Easter Bunny at the local mall.
Smile, kid. Say cheese.
A few hours after the picture is taken, however, Justin awakens in a photo booth. The mall is now closed, and there doesn't seem to be a single person around. Desperate to find a way out, Justin begins to explore the mall. Along the way, he finds several flyers containing images of children that have previously gone missing in the mall. Justin catches a glimpse of someone familiar while exploring, and decides to follow him. This turns out to be a massive mistake. So it appears that the Easter Bunny is back for more than a simple photo, and Justin needs to find somewhere to hide quickly. He finds a bathroom and hides in one of the stalls until the Easter Bunny has left the area. Never thought I'd have to write that sentence in my life. Once it is safe, Justin leaves the bathroom and continues to explore the rest of the mall. This next area introduces the player to the kind of puzzles they'll be solving throughout the game. They are pretty simplistic for the most part, usually requiring you to remember a short passcode and stuff like that. If you have ever played a Resident Evil game before, you will know exactly what to expect. After much searching, Justin finally finds another human being, and it is a face many of you will instantly recognize.
Whoa, calm down! How did you get in here?
That's right, it's famed YouTuber, Jack the Septic Guy? I think that's his name? Anyways, Jack tells Justin that he is perfectly safe and that he will go look for the Easter Bunny himself. However, once a few minutes have passed, it becomes very clear that Jack probably isn't going to be coming back, and on top of that, the power to the area has been cut, so Justin decides to hide under a desk until it is safe for him to leave. Yeah, I really like this prologue. It's spooky, well paced, and introduces the player to many of the mechanics that will be used throughout the game. I also have to praise the outstanding sound design used during this entire sequence. The mall area initially uses this soothing, almost dreamlike piece of music. Before it quickly changes to one of the most uncomfortable, anxiety-inducing things I have ever heard in my life. Murder House's composer was clearly inspired by the works of Akira Yamaoka, and he did a fantastic job overall. The soundtrack really adds to the eeriness of the game, and there were times when I almost wanted to stop playing the game entirely, because its atmosphere was almost too suffocating. Anyways, the game's story then fast forwards to the year 1988. A TV news crew arrive at an old, run-down house in the middle of the woods. This house apparently used to belong to a man named Anthony Smith, who was also known as the Easter Ripper, basically the guy we were hiding from at the beginning of the game. Anthony would kidnap children, bring them to this house, torture them, and then finally kill them. Nearly a dozen children were murdered in this house, so the local news team thought it would be a great idea to do a news story on the place. We play as a young woman named Emma for the remainder of the game, and our first task is to find a way inside the house, since the place is locked up tight. Emma finds a way to enter the house through a basement window, and unlocks the front door so that the rest of the news team can enter. Once the news crew has set up their equipment in the house, they realize that there is no power, and task you with fixing the situation. It's actually surprising how slow the first half of this chapter is. Instead of hiding from a crazed man in a bunny costume, you will instead spend a lot of time casually exploring the house, finding items, and solving basic puzzles. You really aren't in any danger during this time either, so there is no need to waste your limited saves when there's no threat of a game over. Exploring the house is still genuinely enjoyable, and some of the puzzles are quite clever and fun to solve, but without any enemies to deal with, the pacing can feel a bit off at times. Thankfully, once the Easter Ripper does appear, things really do get cranked up to 11.
Help me! There's somebody else in here!
I could tell it was dead straight off.
Similar to games like Resident Evil 3 and Alien Isolation, the Easter Ripper is a pursuer enemy who will constantly follow you throughout the house. You can't kill him, and attacking him will simply cause him to leave the area for a short period of time. I can't adequately convey how much this guy fucking terrified me the first time I played Murder House. I mean, yeah, he is just a guy in an Easter Bunny costume, but I think it's widely accepted at this point that the Easter Bunny is the most terrifying of the holiday mascots.
Daddy.
That's not the Easter Bunny! That's not the Easter Bunny!
Oh my god!
If you are low on ammunition or health, it is also possible to hide from the Easter Ripper, using wardrobes or cabinets littered around the house. The thing is, you just never know when it is safe to leave these hiding spots. You could hear the Ripper leave the room, but once you leave the cabinet, you just... Ah! I'm sorry, Mr. Bunny, sir, but do I have to keep playing your game for much longer? It's really scaring me. Fine.
You sure do drive a hard bargain.
Once the Easter Ripper appears, puzzle solving also becomes a lot more frustrating, as you won't have a lot of time to solve a conundrum before the rabbit is back chasing you again. As mentioned earlier, it is possible to save your game in Murder House, but doing so requires you to find pencils that you then use to record your progress, and these pencils are in short supply throughout the house, so it is entirely possible to die and have to replay a good half hour of the game because you were trying to hang on to your few remaining saves. As much as I love the ink ribbon system from Resident Evil, putting it in a modern game with no option to turn it off just seems crazy to me. Apart from that, my only other real complaint with this game is its length. The game retails for about $10 in the US, which is a fair price, but I think it's important that I inform you all that this is a really short game, as in, there is a trophy for completing the game in under 25 minutes and it's not even that difficult to obtain short. There aren't any alternative endings or unlockable costumes either. It really is a one and done experience. It's a genuinely brilliant experience while it lasts. It's just a shame it doesn't last that long. So overall, would I recommend Murder House? Absolutely. Assuming you know what you are getting into and are okay with how short the experience is, there is a lot to love in this game. Everything from its perfectly recreated 1970s aesthetic to its unnerving soundtrack is an absolute delight to experience. It is admittedly a very short game, but I was constantly on edge throughout, and best of all, it's cheap. Murder House is the perfect game to while away a few hours with this Halloween. Okay, so I played your fucking game. Can I go now?
Not yet, Ben. There's still one more game I need you to play.
What? No. What game? What game could it... No. Oh, you must be kidding me. Oh, you must be fucking kidding me.